I just sat down to record. And I was like in my own little world, and I just put my headphones on, so then you start hearing like everything. And I was like, what is that noise? Is my face like what? It's fucking pouring out right now. Pouring out. Cause see, yeah, I break the rules and I do the thing I'm not supposed to do, which is I record my podcast directly in front of a window, which is like a no. I like to break the rules. Oh, I like thrive on sunlight. I thrive on it. And I need the bright light. I just recorded another video, and in that video, I was like, hey, like, just a heads up, I swear to you, I don't do coke. Like, I swear to you, but I'm constantly doing this. All the time. I swear, I don't do coke. I don't. But I just do this. Anyways, so I was gonna sit down to record. I think I'm still gonna. You guys know the struggle with my anxiety and touching things and like rearranging. And so today we're gonna do something different. It's either gonna be fun or it's gonna be horrible. Doesn't matter. My phone's gonna be like, you know what? Fuck off. Oh, see? And the rain stopped. I don't like this lighting. That's not what I want either, yo. It's a good thing we're testing this, right? Okay. We got this. Okay, we're just gonna go in. Are we gonna go in? Or am I just gonna sit here very quietly thinking about going in but not going in? See, anxiety. And then I'm like, my stupid phone died because it overheated as I'm recording doing this stupid ass shit. Okay, we're in. No more readjustments. This is what's happening. Take it or leave it. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Pretty in Kink. Before we begin, did you guys listen to the B-side last week where I discussed the big, scary, terrifying idea of potentially rebranding? Did you listen to it? If you didn't, I insist, I beg, I plead, just please go listen to it because it's important and I love you guys and I want your input. Even if I don't follow your advice, I still want your input. So backtrack a little if you need to. Go listen to that B-side. I talk about rebranding, and then send me your thoughts in a DM on Instagram at Pretty in Kink Podcast, or if you go in my show notes, there is a link where you can hit a button and you can ask me anonymous questions. You can give me anonymous little tidbits, and I'll never know it's you. So you can do that too. Just be nice if you do that, okay? All right. Anywho, today's episode is going to be a little bit different. And when I say a little bit, it's going to be a lot different because I've never done this before. I got this idea from some friends that started a podcast at the same time as me. I'm not going to give them a shout out just because their genre is very different than mine. So I don't know if they would appreciate, being tossed out there on a podcast like this. So I'm not going to say their name, but I'm going to say thank you for the idea. And what we are going to do today is basically called 5 in 5, where I answer 5 questions, 5 minutes each, and they are going to be chosen randomly. So we'll see how this goes. I don't do well working on the on the fly. So this will be interesting. It's going to be a mix of both personal and just generalized sexual questions. But I don't know what we're gonna get. So we're gonna go and give this a try and see what happens. And if it goes well, let me know what you guys think. And we can keep doing this. First, I have to figure out how to do it. And you can submit on that anonymous link anything you want me to pop in this little randomizer for questions for me to ask. So if this goes well, we'll continue doing it. We'll see what happens. Without further ado, let's just dive right in and let's see if I can do this without jumbling everything up. Okay, so I'm going to click to spin. We're going to see what we get. How's life after back surgery? That's a very kind question, and I'm going to say thank you for that first and foremost. How is life after back surgery? It's been a journey, guys. It has kind of taken me by surprise with how much of a journey it has been. If anybody that hasn't been listening long doesn't know, I had major back surgery 3 months ago where I had to have a fusion done. Yeah, I had some screws put into my spine to make me a little bionic, which is exciting. But I seem to have been hit with like the surgery blues, and it's been really, really hard, quite honestly. I had surgery on the same spot in my back. It was just under a year, like 11 months, I think, before this past surgery. So I had been in physical therapy, dealing with all of that, leading up to this most recent surgery. So I am fortunate that I went into the surgery very healthy, a good weight. I was fairly fit. So my physical recovery has been really nice. My mental health, it's gone to shit a little bit. I'm not going to lie. It's been hard. I am taking nerve pain medication that I'm a lightweight, and so everything kind of affects me a little bit more. So I just feel like the medication numbs me a little bit, and I feel like it sort of robs me of my creativity. I haven't been physically active like I like. I used to be very fit. I would just do simple things like I would walk 4 to 5 miles a day, and I would do like body weight exercises. Genetically, I've just always been very fortunate that my body responded well to that. And then the discs in my spine were like, hey, bitch, what's up? What's going on? Did you forget we were here? Let's remind you. And they decided to kick back and relax on my sciatic nerve, which then waged war on my entire left leg that left me at times like completely incapacitated. So I have been living in this weird headspace of living in a little bit of fear of becoming active again. Not a little bit. I'm very fearful of being active again. So I've been quite restrictive. And it's rough. I'm terrified to start doing things again because, like, what if this happens again? I've already had 2 surgeries for this. So my headspace has been, and because I don't like my body right now, that's been tricky because I create adult content. And so that includes, like, hey, look at this body. Do you like that? You want more? I can't do that shit right now. I am absolutely disgusted with my body right now. And so that has been hard. I've always really enjoyed creating and doing the process of like taking photos. I've always loved that. And so losing that has been very hard for me, and trying to get back into it when I'm not physically where I want to be has been hard. And I just find myself retracting a lot in my mental health, and I've been having to work really, really hard to get out of that headspace and just push myself forward. But ironically, like I actually, in the episode where I said like I was dumped but not dumped but kind of dumped, that kind of, I don't know, that flipped a little bit of a switch in me. He and I had both talked about like our lifestyles, and he said how much he wanted to change his, and we had talked about it on our last kind of date together of like, man, we were both eating like shit, and I was saying how I don't like my body, and he was talking about things that he was going through. And so after that phone call, it was like a switch got hit, and I have caught myself this week making a much bigger effort at working towards being in a better space mentally and physically. So yeah, that's how life is after my back surgery. And thank you so much for asking. Like, I cannot even begin to explain the kindness that I've received from everybody on the internet while I'm recovering, and that just means a lot. So thank you. I can't believe that I just spent a whole 5 minutes talking about that. Okay, great. I'm gonna spin again. Are you ready? Let's see what we get. I get nervous when this is spinning. I'm like, what's gonna pop up? Oh, this is a good one. How do I force myself back into the dating scene, but nervous about jumping back in? I like this one. All right, timer is started. How do you force yourself back in? You know what? You just do it. You just do it. It sucks. It's scary. It's hard, but you just have to do it. And what I have found for myself, I'm incredibly nervous. I have horrible anxiety. And so dating, it makes me want to throw up. I've said numerous times, like, I feel like I get explosive diarrhea before first dates. You're welcome for that. Oh, TMI, I'm sorry. I get really nervous. And so if I allowed myself to be overcome by that, I would never go on a date. And I'm not okay with that. I am okay with being single, but I am not okay with holding myself back. And so you need to find a way to overcome the nervousness about getting back out there and just be like, you know what? I fucking got this. I got this. And if nothing else, this gets me out of the house. I can have a drink with somebody or a meal or whatever you do for first dates. And, you know, it got you out of the house for an hour or two. And that's how I've started looking at it. It is intimidating. It is scary. There's a bug just came at me. Just force yourself. Give yourself a pep talk. Figure out what makes you nervous about it and see if that is something that you can change. So for me right now, like I just discussed about my surgery, I am very unhappy with my body. And of course, our confidence is a lot of times attached to our appearance, right? So for me to walk into a first date right now with somebody, it's hard. It's hard and I feel like I'm embarrassed. I have finally started going like, okay, well, you know what? If this is what's holding me back and making me so uncomfortable, I need to work to change it or stop complaining about it and just own what I have, one or the other. So really try and sit and figure out what is it that's making you nervous. And if it's something you can fix, then fix it. If it is not something you can fix, which I mean, honestly, I don't even know what that would be. You know, even anxiety, right? At first glance, when we have horrible anxiety and somebody's like, just don't have it, you're like, fuck you, buddy. You try to not have this. Like you can't. But you can learn to work around it and work with it. So, you know, if you have massive social anxiety, you've got to figure out how you can get past that. So maybe you go on a date somewhere quieter than a busy bar. Maybe you have a coffee date in the middle of the day. It's a little more casual, less intimidating. For my experiences, I am incredibly honest with the people I go on dates with. I am insanely nervous when I go on first dates, and I will tell them. A lot of times I will tell them in the DMs or in the text messages before the date, like, just a warning, I'm kind of shy. I get kind of nervous, so if I seem a little weird at first, like just give me a minute and, you know, you'll see me. But it just takes me a minute. And when I am on the date, I will do the same thing where I will openly say, I'm a little nervous right now, so like forgive me if I'm being kind of weird. Don't be afraid to be honest. I found when I do it, I cannot tell you how many men are like, oh my God, thank you so much for your honesty. Like, people aren't usually honest like this. I really appreciate it. And I can tell you, if a man told me that he was nervous, I would appreciate that level of honesty as well. So own it. Own whatever's making you feel weird and just fucking go with it. And I'm not gonna tell you it gets easier because I have the same behavior before every single date. And I still go and I still do it because I know the end result is going to be worth it, because eventually I'm going to find my partner. That's how you have to look at it. Kind of impressed with myself because there is 18 minutes, not minutes, 18 seconds left of this. And I just finished up. Bravo for me. All right, question number 2, down. I liked that one. And if you're out there and you ask me that question, and you would like to tell me more about what makes you nervous, drop me a DM, like I said, or that anonymous note, and we can go into a further discussion about that in another episode. So let me know if there's something specific that is making you nervous, or anybody else out there. If you've got something that you're like, ooh, you know, I get explosive diarrhea before first dates. What can I do about it? Hit me up. I'll see if I can help you and be your Imodium. I'll be your mental health Imodium, okay? I'm sorry. Oh man, maybe we shouldn't do these kind of episodes again. All right, we're going back in for another spin. Are you ready? What's it gonna be? And I'm sure you get messaged a lot, but do you ever consider talking with someone from here? Timer on. No, I don't. I'm sorry to let you down. This is a big topic. This is a big question. And it's interesting because I will get a lot of pushback from people that are like, yeah, but I'm different, or you don't know until you know me. And that's not fair at all. Like, no means no. So, like, trying to push back makes me even more resistant. But the reason why I do not consider it is because of what I do, which is adult content. That is my entire online presence, is me as Tara V, the creator of adult content. So I know that when somebody shows up in my DMs, I know why they found me and I know why they're there. And so it's immediately, I feel like, an unfair advantage if they suddenly say, like, I want to go on a date with you. And I go on a date with them and they have already decided that they somehow know me, which my online presence is just a fraction of who I actually am. But in a viewer's mind, I do give a lot on my social media. And so it feels very uncomfortable to me, the idea of putting myself in a position with somebody that essentially knows me and knows me in a sexual manner, right? Because that's what I'm doing, is I'm sexualizing myself and I'm putting my body out there in lingerie, right? I am on OnlyFans putting my body out there completely naked. I have people that have followed me since the days that I was on Pornhub, where I did couples work, where they have seen the kind of sex that I like. I don't want to walk into something like that with nothing while they have everything, because you've already created an image of me. And no matter how much you say, that's not why I like you because I can see your personality in your stories, or you just seem so nice, like there's so much more to you. There is 100%, but you're already biased. And as much as you want to say, like, oh, I really like your personality, you still showed up here for a different reason. And that will forever make me uncomfortable. And so I will never consider doing it. The only time I have has been with people that we had a mutual contact, and that contact could massively vouch for them. And I mean, like, massively vouch for them. And then I'm trying to think, there is one other person that made it into my DMs and we did end up meeting. And the reason for that was his behavior towards me. I was very cold at first when he came into my DMs, and it was a very professional DM. He was looking to photograph me. And I was very cold and standoffish, and eventually just put it out there, like, dude, I know what you're doing. This is what people do. I appreciate it, but like, don't. But we did end up developing a rapport and actually became friends. And it took us, I think, a year before we met each other in person. And so I feel like that was a very unique situation, and one that, you know, all the stars would have to align, like everything would have to be perfect and laid before me properly for me to consider meeting somebody. So yeah, I mean, that's like a fluke thing, but I truly don't really consider ever doing it, ever. because it's just too dangerous, and it's just, it feels unfair. And even say I did, and I don't know, we had a great time, and it developed into something that would always be in the back of my head of like, did they like me for that? And then what if I lose my body? What if I lose my looks? Like, they came to me for this image, and what if I lose it? Will I lose them? Or it would just create way too many insecurities that I'm just not willing to deal with, honestly. So I'm sorry, but no. But I appreciate the way you asked. That was very nice. I did it with 5 seconds left. I'm so proud of myself for this. All right, we got another one. Down. I hope you guys are enjoying this. It is kind of fun. It gets me a little nervous because I don't know what's gonna pop up, but you know, it's kind of fun being surprised. Let's see what we got. Oh, this is my favorite topic. Do you prefer younger guys? Well, as a matter of fact, I do. I am a little bit of a cougar. Now, before you get yourself all excited, I am not a super cougar. I have been with men that were much younger than me. I believe the biggest age gap was 18 years. That was a big one. That was actually somebody that was incredibly vouched for by a friend. I do not think I would have ever actively like gone on a date with this man if I had just like stumbled upon him on a dating app because of his age. But we had a mutual friend, and so yeah, there's a huge gap with that. But I do tend to stay away from much younger. I had a dating phase for a little bit over the last 3 years where I would almost seek out much younger men because then I couldn't get attached to them. But now I am dating a little bit more intentionally. So now I will only allow myself like a 10-year age gap that I'm comfortable with, because if we hit it off and it becomes amazing and we have a long-standing relationship, I am comfortable with 10 years. I'm not comfortable with past that. But I have gone on many days with many men that were much younger than me, mostly like mid to late 20s. And now it's definitely like the early 30s, and I'm gravitating towards like 33, 34 seems to be the age that I just, that's the age I like. So yes, I do prefer younger guys. Why? I feel like my lifestyle is very unique. And so it does take a special person to be comfortable with it and to be comfortable with me, I guess. I have a lot that goes along with me. And I have found that men that are my age seem to just have a little bit more of a closed-minded thought process walking through life versus some of the younger men that are a different generation that were raised just with some more open things going on in the world, right? They're a lot more accepting of things that by like somebody in their like mid 40s would be like, what the fuck? Absolutely not, you hoe. You know? I also have an incredible aversion to children, like incredible aversion to them. I'm sorry, any moms out there. I just don't like kids. I've never wanted to be a mother, and I do not want to get involved with somebody that has a child. I have zero interest in that. I will run in the other direction if I realize that they have a child. I just don't want anything to do with that. And so, if I go for my age range, they're a lot more settled in life. The likelihood is that they have had children. It's a lot harder in my age group to find a childless man. So I do find when they're in like their early to mid 30s, they at that point have made the decision of whether or not they want children. So I don't have to worry about that sitting on my shoulders of like, what if they were going to change their mind? Like, what if I somehow like subconsciously swayed them without even realizing it? I feel like once they get into their 30s, they're a lot more set in their ways. And I also find that sexually, they are just a much better match for me. I require somebody that has an incredible amount of stamina. I don't know how to put that in any other way. I need somebody that has a lot of stamina, and I need somebody that has a very active drive. And again, I have found in my experience that men in my age group tend to not be able to like keep up. I don't know, this feels like such a weird conversation the way I'm saying it, but yeah, I haven't, yeah. I did date somebody that actually was 3 years older than me, and I will say, I was dumbfounded by his stamina. Like, I was so impressed. Like, I've only been that impressed with one other person in all of my like escapades. So, I mean, I know you guys are out there, but we have a preference. I'm getting good at this. There's 4 seconds left. Woo! I think we have one more to go. I don't know, it's a long episode now, but let's see what we've got. Final question. Let's see. I'm nervous. This is our last question. Do I sell feet pics? Okay, number one, anybody that's listening that, like, for whatever reason, you're just not, like, super into the sexy world, there's a lot of people that like to buy pictures of feet. Like, feet are a big kink, and a lot of people want to see them. A lot of adult content, you will notice, if you look at these creators on, like, Instagram and stuff, you don't see their feet. Because there's this, like, unsaid thing of, you don't show your feet for free. You don't give that away for free. So there's a big market for feet. I have not found that market. I have had no luck with that, and so I haven't actively made an effort to sell feet pictures, but I certainly would. And if you're interested, like, hit me up in my DMs. We can chat. We can work something out. But no, like, my content isn't centered around feet. I will say I have had people that have paid for custom videos, and again, if you're not like in the sexy world, somebody pays you a fee that you determine, and you create a video for them that surrounds their requests. And I have had one person that I've made a few videos for that he will be very specific on where my feet should be and how I should be showing them within the video. And I think those are fun because it's like, I don't know, I feel like I'm doing some sort of weird puzzle and I have to think while I'm doing all the other things. But anyways, I can't go 5 minutes into this one. I don't sell feet pics. I would sell feet pics. If you're interested, shoot me a DM. Sorry. Anyways, I do have really cute feet though. They are super cute. I get a little self-conscious about them because they get dry. But they're cute. They're tiny. I have itty bitty feet. Like, my shoe size is, I usually buy a 6 because that's usually all they have, but I love when I find a 5.5. So I have cute itty bitty feet. That's my sales pitch for my feet. Anyways, our very first 5 and 5 is complete. I actually had fun with this. I was a little bit nervous. I'm not a fan of the length. Hopefully you guys don't mind, an episode that's a little over 30 minutes, but this was fun. And I have a lot more questions on that wheel, but I would love more. So I'm going to tell you again, hit me up in my DMs on Instagram at Pretty in Kink Podcast, or go in the show notes and click that link for the anonymous questions and you can put them there. I do think if you are listening on Spotify, I don't know that the show notes in Spotify show any of the hyperlinks. Like, I don't think they're there. So if they're not, you can find them if you hop over to like Apple, or even if you go on like Google. I'm on Amazon, like all of those other places. And in those show notes, you should be able to click the link. If you can't fucking find it, and DM me. Apparently today is the day I'm gonna beg you to pop into my DMs. So I'm feeling lonely. So, shower me with love and questions and adoration in my DMs, apparently. So anyways, that's it. You know the drill. I want you to get out there. I want you to get weird. And truly, honestly, I kind of beg of you. I want you to go back and listen to that B-side. It was 2 episodes ago, and it is B-sides. I'm thinking about rebranding. I want your thoughts because I'm almost there. I think I have 2 names picked out. Ooh, and I think I'm going to do it. So come talk to me about it. Go listen and come back and let's chat. All right? I love you, and I will see you guys next week. That went good. I actually enjoyed that. Like, that was fun. I don't know if you guys will enjoy it. I don't know, but that was fun. I kind of want to just watch movies on the couch and get DoorDash. Anyways, and my phone didn't die. This episode was supposed to happen because my phone made it 37 minutes. I did that in like one shot. Talked about how I'm doing after surgery and like my insecurities about my body. And I have to tell you, like, this. I hate it. Bing, bing. Does anybody know any good arm exercises that will like get my bingo arms gone? I used to have really toned arms. If anybody has any like fitness, remember I have to be gentle because I have metal back there. Okay? Someone be my personal trainer. Just kidding, I don't need a personal trainer. My physical therapist would fucking kill you. Just, I love you guys.